Hey Joe everybody, welcome back to another guide brought by your favorite tag team, Roxanne and me, Lester. This time we will be looking at the brand new Casey. So get comfortable and enjoy our guide for this unit. As an overall view, Casey is a brand new ranged peacekeeper unit with high health plus a lot of survivability and high utility. She excels in spreading blind to slow the game for your opponent and buys some time to set up combos. But she's viable in any comp because she shines on her own. Abilities. Ability 1. Enemy appears gives blind to 2 another random enemies for 1 turn. This is perhaps Casey's biggest utility and gives 2 random enemies the blind above anytime any enemy unit spawns on their side of the map. This also applies to models from any source, which means the following: enemy units, enemy android spawned units or models, ally adjunct spawned model on the enemy side, ally commander boxes from Roxy. All of these trigger blind to 2 enemies. It's worth nothing that the freshly spawned unit itself cannot be blinded by this ability on her spawn and only counts towards blinding others. The blind debuff. This causes a blinded enemy to miss their basic attack, which includes any effect that may trigger when dealing damage or landing an attack, passive skills or anything that triggers before or anything that doesn't require an attack will still trigger, like when the ability says before an attack. Ability 2. Before enemy attack reduces attack of all melee enemies for each blind enemy. Since this only targets melee enemies, it can be quite niche, but basically more blinded enemies, less attack power for enemy melee units, which are also potentially blinded by this point. But if the opponent has some units on his side blinded, this ability will help you to reduce the attack of a melee unit spawned in that turn. Ability 3. End of turn gets attack for each allied peacekeeper, including self. Very simple but very strong here. More peacekeepers equal Casey gets more attack each turn. Paired with her high health, blind spread and agility, this makes her an overall powerhouse of utility. Ultimate ability is a passive agility. This makes Casey dodge all melee attacks, meaning her survivability goes up by a lot. Again, paired with the big health and blind spreading, this makes a big difference in Casey's ability to block lanes. But it's better if you use her with some tank in front of her, of course. Combos: Kitty with Ultimate and Aurelia Commander. Both Kitty and Aurelia can spread blind, and Casey can benefit from this by lowering the attack of those melee units for each one. Roxy Commander and Adjunct Android. Both the Commander Roxy and Android Adjunct can spawn exploding models on your opponent's side of the field. Since this count towards 2 enemy being blinded per model, you can lock down whatever your opponent has in play very fast. Hilda. I mean, if you already choose to go for the route of as many peacekeepers as you can have, you may also use Hilda, so you double down the fact you will have peacekeepers to increase her attack too. Peacekeeper spawners such as Kira and Dominica. Not really a super strong synergy here, but more peacekeepers equal bigger attack buff for Casey at the end of the turn. As you can see by now, you can play Casey in a full shield squad and will work nice. Charlotte. Wait, what? Yeah, not quite a direct synergy here, but Casey's spreading blind really gives Charlotte a lot of time to build up near charges. And between the two of them, they can lock down a full enemy squad quite easily. Same concept applies to help you stack poison and infection, and yeah, that's why we meant she can work in almost every squad. Counters, the usual, Lola and 16 with ultimate. Between these two there aren't many range units that can be taken care of right away. 16 nukes most range units on the spawn, and Lola will set range enemies HP low enough to one-shot them. Suppression. Casey isn't immune to any form of suppression like the immune units or Tora, so this is an easy way to shut her down. As for her relationship stats at level 20, at GM Leaf, she earns plus 158 attack and plus 124 health. Final thoughts. Casey excels at buying time, since she really slows down enemies by blinding 2 of them each time anything spawns in. The way this includes models is a real bonus, as this will punish enemies using multiple spawners, Arachne, Mitsuki, Ginny plus Torret, Florence plus her chamber, etc., and will spread that debuff very well. One of the great things about Casey is that this effect doesn't require her to be attacking, so if her attack is reduced to 0 or she's stunned, etc., it won't matter because the most useful part of her will keep still triggering. Lowering enemy melee attack with her second ability is okay and means those units will be less useful when they are no longer blinded. Her attack boost from ability 3 is nice and means that if left unchecked, she will become a monster with big damage. Agility from her ultimate might not be the most exciting ultimate, but it basically doubles down her survivability and cuts the amount of effective counters in health. Overall, Casey is a great unit that gets much better the longer she's in play. She opens up many combos with how well she buys time for you to place other units and not have to worry about what your opponent has in play, especially to slow down rush combos. One thing I will say is that ignoring enemy units might seem enticing, such as keeping them locked down with a stun or blind, but I will still recommend dealing with them as many units, including Casey herself, have strong passive abilities that just keep going even when stunned or blind. So buying time is great if you plan to drop a commander, suppress or spread poison, etc., but always be careful as a cleanse might not be 4-way. Tora. Yes, you hear right. Antidat is such a counter to Casey also, so keep an eye on when you spawn Casey and where, cause you might get cleansed. Your suggestion, from what we could see for now, since Casey so survivable, has great utility, solid stats, and can fit into basically any squad, I have to say she belongs to my strong tier, only falling short of meta tier or anti-meta tier because she isn't an instant game winning busted unit that should be nerfed. With all that said, let's have some matches! That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!